you can really start to see the closet taking shape here. And as I mentioned in my previous video about the double top plates, we finally are starting to get those in, as you can see here. So we'll add some more studs here on the top, and that'll complete this front face of the closet. We've got our rough opening here, as you can see. The ladder's in the way there, but we've got a rough opening of 62 inches. Excuse me. And then I had a little bit more frustration level here earlier today, but I'll just explain what happened because I cleaned it up. So when we got this drywall off so I could put this plate on, I noticed that there were just really two strips that were taken out. And for me to patch that up and go through that process, it would have had two small seams on each side. And it probably would have been easier, or it is easier, just to take that small strip out and then put one piece back up there, which is what I've done, or will do rather. Problem is, when I took it out, you can see here the loose fill insulation is just kind of sitting there, kind of packed in. So I was very gentle. It was more surgical demolition. But what happened was, once I took it out, the gravity set in, and that one there, that one there, that one there, and this one, all of the loose fill insulation fell to the ground. In fact, one of them was delayed, and as I was trying to clean it up on the floor here, that whole thing fell on me. So I spent a good half an hour cleaning all that up on the floor, vacuuming, and my creative vocabulary came out again. So we're not going to show that, but it's all cleaned up now. Once I get back up there to make sure that's sealed correctly, I'll probably just take now my 9 bags of insulation, which are sitting way back there, and I'll just put some more on top of those just to give it a better thermal rating, so to speak. So we are coming along, and we are going to continue next time. We should be able to get the top plates and the risers, the finishing studs on the top of these finished, and that will close out this closet. And then I think we'll be able to put up drywall very soon here. So until next time. All right, check it out. We, my friends, are done with the framing of this closet. We've got our top plate in there, double top plate with studs to match. So we'll be able to get the drywall on quite nicely. And got the studs along the back wall, everything up in the ceiling. I even put more insulation in that first one over there, just because I didn't want the loose fill to fall through. When I get back on top, I'll push that down after the drywall's on. That way we'll make sure that there's no gaps up there. And step through the wall here. You can see here we are ready to put some drywall up. I've got some insulation I'm going to pack in here. This whole wall on the other side here is going to be filled with insulation along with this wall in the hallway. That's just to reduce the noise that's going to come from this room into the bedroom for daughter number 1. So we've got a little bit of work to continue with, but very pleased that the frame of the closet and the access to the hallway is complete. We got done about a week and a half early. We started this past weekend. It is now the middle of the week, and we finished that up. So I'm a week and a half early on this. This is really great. So I'm hoping by maybe this weekend, we will be able to start coming back into this room with drywall. But we are going to continue our journey. So until next time. As I just mentioned, we are done with framing everything out here, and we are ready to put drywall up. I even got my electrical box over there, just rotated 90 degrees. I didn't even have to take that out. We just rotated it, like I said before. I didn't want to mess with the electrical on that, but we are in a good spot with that. So the next thing to do is take some of this insulation that you see here. It's been sitting there for several weeks, and we are going to put it all in these walls here and in this wall here. And what's interesting about this is these are 2x3 walls. The insulation is made for 2x6. So there's going to be about 2.5, 3 inches sticking out of here once we get the insulation laid in here. But cool thing about this insulation, and I will show this, is with any type of pink insulation or any type of rolled insulation like this, once you get it up and you've got too much, you can actually peel it back like a banana and it will take a layer off and you can get it down to the width that you want. So I'm going to show you that here shortly, and because it's just too thick to go in that wall right now. So with that, let's start getting some of that stuff up and continue on our way. All right, you can see a lot of pink stuff on the floor. That means we're putting up insulation. And if you look just into the hallway right there, you will notice there's a couple of rows of insulation. But a quick education point here, how to cut insulation when it's rolled out like this. So you don't want to cut it after you've rolled it out and left it standing for several hours. You want to cut it as soon as you roll it out. And the reason for that is because you see how compressed it is at the bottom here? It's compressed to about 2 inches right now. You want to cut it in that state. It makes it a lot easier to have the utility blade go right through it. If you wait till it's puffed up, it's just a little bit of a hassle, and just makes it a little more difficult to cut. So, but the way to do it is you measure from the end there to whatever length you need. And then what you want to do is you don't want to take like a straight edge, like a metal one. It's easier to take like a 2x4, right? Put it on like this, and then actually put all your weight on the 2x4 with your knee. And then what you would do is you'd put your other hand down here, and then I only have 2 hands, so I'm going to show you, but then you take a utility blade and you go real hard up against the edge of your 2x4, and it will slice right through. Always use a clean blade on this stuff too, because what will happen is, even if it's just a little bit dull, the edges are tar paper and they're thicker. So when you try to pull it apart after you've gone through it a couple of times, sometimes that'll stick, and then the insulation will pull away from the tar paper. Not that that's a big deal, but it just gets frustrating after you do it a couple of times. So that's how you cut insulation. But let's move over here, and you can see the insulation is going up quite nicely here. And if you'll notice, I've done something a little bit different on this insulation. I've actually taken the tabs and I've gone to the outside of the stud, which, if you look on YouTube, you'll see different installers do it a little bit differently each time. And then you'll notice, like on a stud here, I've gone to the inside. 6 to 1, as far as I'm concerned, whether one's better than the other. It certainly looks a lot nicer when it's up against the outside of the stud. I've actually done that on here. If you look real closely, I've done it on the outside. But it does give it a chance to have the insulation puff up a little more. Oops, excuse me. Puff up a little more and actually fill in the gaps. But it's probably easier to install when you do it this way. And if you're a contractor on a job, speed is of essence, right? You still want to be accurate and good quality work, but you also want to get done pretty quickly. So with that being said, this is going in nicely. I've got all the time in the world, so I'm just going to continue using that method. But if we come to the other side, you can see, again, I've got 2x6 inch insulation in there, but it's only 2x3 walls. So over the course of the next day or so, maybe several hours, this is actually going to puff up and come out to the edge here, and we'll probably have 2 or 3 inches sticking out. And then what I will be able to do is I'll be able to actually peel it like a banana to this thickness here. It'll be sit nice and tight in there. So that should work out pretty good. If for some reason that doesn't happen, I'll just leave it the same, and we'll put drywall up against it and call it a day. So we are going to continue our journey here of putting up this insulation, and we're going to close out update number 21, and we'll start a new one with 22, because that's going to be drywall. So until then, peace out.